I think if you were looking for like a breakfast protein meal that was super convenient, low refined sugar, this would do a good job. So today I'm going to put my nutrition degree to the test. One of the things that I had to do when 25 years ago when I got my degree, I had to make up a recipe. And we had, I don't even know how many times, I think I had 40 different versions of that recipe before it was like ready for my final grade. But today, I'm just going to go for it and see how it comes out. I am going to try and make a high protein, low refined sugar, cookie-ish type thing and see how it comes out. So let's see. I'm just going to throw things in a bowl based on what I think is a good ratio, and then I'll adjust it up and down based on the consistency. So I have the oven preheating at 350. So now I'm going to use my little cutie measuring cups. And let's see. Okay, in the dry ingredients, I'm going to try. I'm a messy cook, so be warned. A cup of oats. See, I'm already spilling. A cup of gluten-free flour, which I should have a spoon for this. So, if I was a professional, I would weigh everything and I would sift this flour, and yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get about a cup and call it good. Now, brand new bag. So I'm going to use the cookies and cream edition. If you're making a cookie and it's already supposed to taste like a cookie, maybe that'll work. Maybe. So I'm going to use about a cup of this. One of Nathan's complaints is that this bag makes it so that you can't easily get stuff out without making a mess.
It's almost impossible to not make a mess.
Well, how would you suggest they modify that?
At some point in the process. I don't know, make it a bag that opens. The bottom is open, the top is sealed.
So I'm just going to make an even bigger mess. To give you an idea, a cup of this is approximately 3 servings. That's about a cup. Then I'm going to put in, I'm going to start with half a teaspoon of pure monk fruit extract. That might be enough, but it might not. There's some stevia sweetener in the Black Edition. Oh dear. Well, that means I'm going to use 2/4 teaspoons. Warning, do not use monk fruit like you would use sugar. First of all, it would be the most expensive cookie on the planet. But second of all, monk fruit, 1 teaspoon of monk fruit extract like this is the equivalent of half a cup of granular sugar. So keep that in mind. Then, normally you add these at the end, but I'm going to live dangerously and I'm going to put them in now because I want a whole cup. My cameraman told me that I did not say a cup of chocolate chips. Now this one, I'm not sure if I should put this in or not. This is psyllium husk. So when you're making something gluten-free, psyllium husk can give it that like glutinous, chewy texture, but it can also make it kind of gummy if you go overboard. So I think I'm going to do a half a teaspoon. Let's see how this comes out. Oh, I just realized I do have a half a teaspoon before I did the 2/4 teaspoons. But I don't have my glasses on, so I couldn't tell. Now, I'm going to put in a teaspoon of baking soda and baking powder. Again, we're just guessing. This could be a disaster. But here's the thing, if it's a disaster, I don't have to put this on YouTube. Through the magic of television. And then I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of salt. If this comes out good, I will put the recipe in the description box below. I'm going to mix that together. You probably would be better served to put the chocolate chips in at the end, but I didn't. The thing that I'm thinking about is I don't know how much liquid I am going to need, so I'm going to try this. So I'm going to take, this isn't totally softened. I've had it out for like maybe an hour. I'm going to go for it and just use the whole stick. And then I'm going to use 2 eggs. Did you know that if you smash 2 eggs together, only one ever wins? That wasn't very good on that breaking situation, but... And you should generally break an egg on a flat surface. It's less messy. You're less likely to get eggshells in it. But again, I'm not a very good rule follower. Then I'm going to add some vanilla extract to this, which, by the way, I just had egg all over my hands and I just contaminated my vanilla container. You shouldn't do that, but only my family is going to suffer. So I think I have all my ingredients. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this up with a mixer, and then I'm going to add it to this. I'm anticipating that this is going to be the consistency that's not going to be like a spread cookie. It's going to be the kind of cookie you have to roll in a ball, kind of shape into the shape you want and cook it. I don't know if that's actually true or not. If this is way too dry, I'm going to like play around with the liquid to dry ratio, but we're going to see what happens. Things are flying everywhere! Chunks of butter. Ultimately, it came out nice and smooth. I don't know if this is going to be a mixer or a mixer situation. I'm about to find out. It smells good. I think this is going to be way too dry, but we're going to find out. Shall we dare to use the mixer? Is it going to go flying? Yeah, that needs liquid. So let's try that. We're going to go 1/4 cup at a time of milk. See what happens. Try again. Okay, we're getting closer. 1/4 cup plus a teaspoon. I think I'm gonna break my mixer. It's going everywhere! Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Ah, this could be like a protein cookie kind of consistency. What do you think? Babe, what do you think?
Looks a little thick to me.
I think we're gonna go with it. If you guys could see Nathan's face, he just went like this. We're going to try it. It could be a disaster. It could be amazing. Babe, what's your prediction? Is this going to be a fail or a surprise?
Well, I'll be surprised if it's not a fail.
I want you to think of these like a breakfast protein cookie. You know how the ones you can buy at the store that are not gluten-free, by the way. So I don't know what they taste like. I'm tempted to take a bite of the dough. There's raw eggs in it, and I'm sure that YouTube will annihilate me if I do that. But I kind of want to see if it's sweet enough. I can always make suggestions at the end, or we can do a round 2. And see, baking really should be way more precise. You know, as a cook, you can be kind of willy-nilly. But baking, you should be fairly precise because it's more of a chemistry project. But I am kind of proof that that doesn't always matter because I make a lot of stuff that people say is pretty good. I'm not very precise. I think if you wanted to, you could make a dozen out of this. But I think I made what is that, 3? I made 9, but one of them is really big. So I'm going to cook them I'm going to start for about 15 minutes. I'm going to test them at 350 and see how they come out. So after 15 minutes, I think I want it to go just a couple more minutes. Could make it really dry though. I'm going to risk it. So I ended up doing it for 20 minutes. After they've cooled, we'll decide if they came out too dry or they're too soft. So I'm going to put them on this rack, including our biggin. And I wanted to make these fairly big because I wanted them to be like a breakfast type of meal. We have some variety of sizes. We have some smaller ones here, some medium ones here, and a big one there. So let's let them cool off for half hour or so, and then we'll do a taste test and see if they came out okay.
Which one should I pick? I'm kind of afraid of that big one. Seems good so far. I think the taste is probably good, but it's kind of dry, like chalky.
So let's see how it looks when we pull it open. It's a pretty dry cookie. I think the chocolate chips give it some moisture. It's got a little bit of spring. It's not completely crumbly, and when you're talking gluten-free stuff, sometimes it literally just turns into sawdust. But it's definitely a drier cookie. If you're looking for a chewy cookie, this isn't going to get the job done. As in all chocolate chip cookies, the star of the show is the chocolate chip. But I think that this actually could be a really good option if you're trying to either if you're making a really strong effort to move away from refined sugars, or if you're trying to find a healthy alternative to a more traditional cookie, or if you're looking for a high protein option, like a quick breakfast. I think this could do a good job. I've got some thoughts on how we can maybe do this a little bit better. I'll maybe think about giving this another go in another video. I think we could substitute the milk for either banana or applesauce. I don't know if for those of you who know this, but you can actually substitute oil for those things as well because it creates moisture and whatnot in a cookie, and we needed moisture. That's why I added the milk. but milk doesn't give like quite the same properties. I also think that we could up the psyllium husk because it's a gluten-free product. That would create like a more chewy texture, but it also adds more fiber. And if you're looking for more fiber, that could be a good thing. So those are some potential options. So we put in a half a cup of milk. I would probably substitute that with like a whole banana, but maybe even 2. But if you've ever done like an oatmeal banana type cookie, if you put in too much banana, it can also take on this like slightly rubbery texture. So we're gonna have to give this a go again. But for now, it could work. We have an entire playlist on HUEL and HUEL products that is totally unsponsored. Check out that playlist and you can get ideas about the different types of products that they have, what we think about them, how we've used them, comparing them to other products. And then also, if you're gluten-free, another video you might really enjoy is I think I've really nailed the recipe on gluten-free bread. It's actually squishy and delicious. It rises like regular bread. So check out both of those videos.